Hello everyone, my name is Joe Scorson from Scorson Enterprises. I almost said Ethernet Wing. That's a while ago. I haven't uploaded a video in quite some time, but I felt like I didn't have much to do. Felt like I'd still have some time to play guitar. So here we are. I'm gonna make a video about something that I had in the pocket for a while. And yeah, if you could tell by the title of this video, we're gonna be making an order book in GoLang and connecting it over a TCP server. And so we're gonna have our own protocol and stuff like that. It'll be pretty cool because we're just doing an order book, so that way it's quant finance themed. But you could take this kind of framework and make whatever you want. So yeah, we're gonna get into that. This is my indicator with Lux Algo. You guys should check this out. Link will be in the description. It's a tool that you guys could use in your own trading. Check out my X account as well. I am so close to 500. Give me to 500. Give me to 500. This is that indicator as well. On the old charts, got some cocoa beans right here. Coffee looking a little weak. But yeah, we're gonna get right into it. So we are going to be coding along. This is what the file structure is. CMD with just the main and then our models and then makefile. This is all I have in it. I'm actually gonna, I think I'm gonna close, well, not that. I think I'm just gonna close this. Doesn't really matter. Oh wait, my face was in the way anyway. There we go. CMD with main, models, and a makefile. You could have seen the makefile though. I actually think it's fine that I have my file tree open. It's just bothering me now as it gets bigger. Zoomed in a little bit for everybody there. But all right, now I do have a reference if you see me looking over. But the way that this is going to work is we're going to have our orders. We're going to have our order book, which manages the orders. We're going to have an exchange, which is kind of like how the server is going to behave. And then we're going to have the actual server. Like the exchange is going to be like living with the server, if that makes sense. It's like Go isn't object oriented, but it's C style. But the way that you can code a type and then give it functions is just, I like it. I like it a lot. So we're going to start off just by making an order, and this is going to be a struct, and it has a lot of things. So we have a price, which is a float, and also one thing I'm going to say as I write out this struct is that, actually this is a string, is that I honestly look over at these references a lot when I code things, and I think that videos like this are a little dumb. And I think that they're a little dumb because clearly I took a lot of time to make this the way that I actually wanted it to and get it to behave the exact way that I wanted, get the formatting right. And so just to like, I don't think that I'm whipping this up right here. Like, no, this took some time for me to get exactly the way that I wanted, and that's fine. That's the whole point of programming. These videos like this are weird. This isn't how it happens like at all. But this is what we're working with here. And so now we have this order struct that we're going to go over a little bit, and we're going to kind of code our own enum right here. Pretty much, we're going to say like, okay, I have this string for what order type we have. So we're going to have a switch, and what I mean by that is that, well, let me finish this, and then we'll go over the struct, the order struct, and then some more information, because we're going to be receiving the order types as strings, human readable, and we're going to be giving it back to the program to use it as just numbers. Oops, return 2. And so I actually think that Go, I'm honestly not too sure. I believe that Go actually does have a way to not have to code your own enums like this, like how I'm doing. But I never honestly took the time to look into it. This just works. I should have a default in here, but whatever. Actually, the default is technically just return 0 at the end. But so, okay, let's go over this order struct, because we're going to support a lot of cool things in this order book. We're going to have the price, of course. Price is irrelevant if it's a market order, but not really. If you actually have an exchange, you need to keep track of history and stuff like that. The orders will have an ID, they'll have a ticker, a size, an order type, so market, limit, good till canceled, and fill or kill. I have them as flags in here, right? Just one more Boolean. Just makes it a little bit easier to work with it in the rest of the program. Side, buy or sell, timestamp. So that way it could actually be, the order book actually needs to be FIFO. Like this order book is actually not just going to be, it's not just going to be a matching algorithm. We're actually going to go through and fill by FIFO. So yeah, it might be something that's a little overlooked in other order book models, certainly ones that have been on my channel. And so I figured I would right that wrong by making this order book actually correct. It's not harder. It just might be a little less intuitive to do it like that at first. Oh my gosh, float 65s. What are we doing? But yeah, so now let's go over what we're actually doing right here. Because what is an actual order book, right? And before I keep on finishing this actual order book structure, we're going to talk about it a little bit. Because an order book is really a map. It's saying I have this level, this price right here. What is a corresponding amount of orders at that price? And it just keeps track of that. And then there's a matching algorithm that inherently works in there and goes through and checks it all by a FIFO. First in, first out. If you're first in line, you get your order fill first. It doesn't matter if somebody else's order could perfectly fill what we have now. We'd have no problems. No, you were here first. Even if it's partial, even if it's not what I need, you still are there first. We will need a mutex in this. We're going to need a next order ID. I don't know if this is an excuse or not, but I did write this a long time ago. So I really have no idea. I don't have the fondest memory of what a lot of these things are here for. But and also a thing about Go is that public and private is dictated by the capital or lowercase letter. Like this field mu is unused. It doesn't know if this is unused or not because it's public. Like it could be being used somewhere else. But here it's telling us like, hey, you haven't used this locally yet in this context. I mean, maybe locally isn't the right word for that. Regardless, though, we need to return a reference to our order book so that way we can make a new one and then add orders to it. So our order book is going to be, yes, it is going to be like that. I don't want to return it right away. Bids, and then we're going to make, yeah, that is one thing I like a lot about Go is that it'll como se llama? It'll fill out this part for us really well just from the LSP. And then we just need to make a channel for our stop channel. In theory, we would never actually stop, stop matching, right? Perhaps when markets close. That actually makes total sense. All right, I guess I did know what I was doing. See what I mean about how a lot of programming in this context is weird. Like, I'm not going to nail it first time. That's kind of the whole point. And so now we're actually going to write this start matching function that I have right here. And so the point of this is that as I add new orders to it, I won't have to say like added an order, check if it can match it. We're just always going to have this matching algorithm, this FIFO one, running in the background. And so, yeah, that's just something that we're going to need. It makes the design a little bit better. And yeah, I think it's a little simpler to think about if you understand like the concurrency and stuff like that, and the sort of parallelism. This should be private. A rule of thumb is to just make everything private until you have to make it public. But yeah, and so ticker is not the right word for this, but whatever. Ticker time dot new ticker, perhaps it is. I don't know. It's kind of just like a a metronome, I suppose. You just need, no, I want millisecond. And so, yeah, so we have this ticker, and so now we have a go functions. That way we can actually do things, and then we have some parameters. I don't think we actually need parameters, but we do need this kind of like accept loop, this infinite thing that'll always check for us to see if there's actually something that we need to do. And so there'll be a for, and then we have a select right here, and then we have cases. So one of the cases will be if ticker.c, and then we're going to go over that is, and then ob.match match orders. And so now what we have done here is, and we're going to write out the other case, and we're going to say ob.stopChant, and then we're going to say ticker.stop, and then we're going to return, and then yeah, that's it for this. And now we haven't written, my chair keeps on like falling down. Let me come back up here. There I am. We haven't written match orders yet, but now this tickers.c, the channel on which the ticks are delivered. So like a metronome, on every tick, we're going to go ahead and match our orders. This is going to happen in the background every single time. So now let's actually make our matching function, our match orders function. And this is where the mutex comes in as well. Because as I'm matching orders, I don't want to get a new one. It shouldn't take a lot of time. But if I'm going to start and then immediately afterwards defer mutex unlock. But so if I'm going to start matching orders and I want to start getting rid of things, I don't want to modify something as something else is modifying it. So we got some thunder going on. This is a good night for some programming, right? I'm so writing music after this. I'm going to have a good time. I love the rain. I should honestly just start streaming. In any case, we don't want traders adding new orders to our order book as we're trying to get rid of them. In a really liquid, really active market, that'll be very hard to do, pretty much kind of impossible, but we can make it look right. We can make it look right. Things don't happen instantly. So we'll be able to have this scenario where everything can happen uniform, right? Nobody's feeling like things are taking too long to get filled. And honestly, if you guys have ever traded something remotely illiquid, you know that things can really take time. So it's not the hardest thing in the world. Actually, I want an or right here. It's not really the most unlikely thing in the world is what I wanted to say, to just have an order sit there for a second, even if it is a market one. But if you can get filled and it's liquid enough, you're getting filled. And that's pretty much what we got going on right here. So this little check is if we just don't have orders to match, then don't match anything. Now we have this little matches flag right here. We're going to use that way later. It's pretty much just like a thing like, okay, like I'm done now. But we're going to go through and we're going to loop through our map. It is a map. So we have a bid prices and then the actual bids in the range of the of our bids. And it doesn't really matter which way you loop. If you were to do ask price and asks and the range of, oh my goodness, ob.asks. Doesn't really matter which one you do first. I just kind of happened to choose that one. As long as this is an order, if the bid price is greater than or equal to ask price, the ask price, then we could definitely fill somebody, right? So what do I want to do here? Do I want to have it like this? I'm questioning a design philosophy. I do. This is fine for now. I less than the length of our bids, because this is the index that we want to focus on right now too. and then I plus plus. Cool. Now we're gonna have to actually start like getting rid of these. So we're gonna have our bid is our individual bid that we're looking at, right? Because we're still looping through each order at that specific price. And so then we're gonna say for J, get 0, and then J, length of the ask, right? Because we still have to fill everything. And then J plus plus. Now we can actually get the ask that corresponds to that bid. So that way people can actually get filled. There's two sides to every trade. Remember that before you buy a 0 DTE option. Who's selling that to you? Right? So if it's a market order, if it is a different kind of order, we can handle things differently. So if either one is a market order, we're going to want to, this might be a flaw. Because you remember in our market is the case of one. I don't know if you guys can hear that thunder. I really hope you can. I love rain so much. But so if we have a market order involved, that actually does make sense. If we have a market order involved, even if it's just one side of it, we're going to treat it as just a market getting filled. So the actual volume of this trade is going to be the minimum amount of volume between this particular bid size and the ask size, right? Because we can't fill an order if there's nothing there. Remember, these are orders. So we have prices and orders, prices and a list of orders. So that's why we have to go through twice right here. So here we go. So now we have to check, right? This supports filler kill. Filler kill, so what that means is, I'll say that as I'm writing it out. If you have a bid or a filler kill, if the bid's a filler kill or an ask is a filler kill, we have to make sure that we can fill the entire order. If not, don't kill it. That's what that means. I'm either going to get filled for my entire position, or I'm not going to get filled at all. So we're going to check. Actually, I need an and, right? The whole thing needs to get filled. Or vol bang equals ask.size. Perhaps you should do something differently with the not equal. Perhaps it should be something like if the vol is less than or equal to, but we'll leave it like this for now. So now I do have this check right here that I'm not sure I need. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to talk about why I'm not sure I need it. And then we're going to say bids is append bids up to I. And then we're going to I minus minus. That was total opposite end of the keyboard right there, which was kind of funny. Why am I being an idiot right here? Why am I being an idiot right here? Because that's all I want to do, right? And then I have to decrement where I am looking at the actual orders, of course. It's elementary. Come on, guys, you didn't tell me that. And then we have to do the same thing for the asks, because just append the asks up to I, and then I minus minus, and then continue going through. Now, what this is doing right here, if we actually have a scenario where we could fill everything, fill it. This I in our bids, this up to I represents not including these filler kill orders. So that is why we have that like that. And then we're going to go 2 brackets down. We're going to do our filler kill check. That, I suppose that could be a function. That probably should be a function. Probably going to change that, in fact. So I'm just going to say if our volume is greater than or equal to 0, then we have things to match. I don't want a new variable, I just want to set that one. So now we can subtract the volume from the bid and from that particular ask order. Now, because partial fills are allowed, I'm going to copy this print line because I don't care about doing the stuff. There we go. All right. Now that we know, now that we actually adjusted this order quantity, we need to make sure that we remove those orders from our order book. So, and I should be adding comments. We'll go through at the end of the video and add comments. So now we're going to say if the ask size is 0, and we're going to say, and then we're going to get our ask price because we're still in this loop, and then we have to append everything up to that side. So it is a funky looking line right here. We append orderbooks.ask price, and then we're going to go up to J. Because remember, J is up here in the length of the asks. So J is our index keeping track of the ask. I got far away from here. Yep, so J is our index keeping track of the ask, and then ob.asks, and then it correctly did the 3 dots for me. The ask price. Am I tripping right now? I am. This should. Oh my goodness, how did I do that? There we go. We have to have our actual index right here. So the ask price and then the index for that. Why are you unhappy? We have all the asks in here. We have our ask price. Right, we have to tell it where we're stopping. So this is everything up to J. This is everything before J plus 1. Cool. So now we could say J minus minus. We could decrement this index that we're looking at. You could see how stuff like this can get really chewy really quickly. Now we have to check if we can delete that level of the order book. We could just say delete. I like that feature in Go. What are we deleting from? ob.asks and that particular index for it. Cool. That way we keep our data structure as small as we need to. Now we're going to do the same thing, but on the bid side. So I'm not going to copy and paste it. I'll actually go through it with you guys. So now we're going to say if bid.size is zilch, bids, and it also probably would be a good idea to put stuff like this in functions too, so that way you can know, you could just like, if you have a nice editor, you could highlight and you can know, like, okay, I only have the word ask in this function, and I only have the word bid in this function, right? Just to get rid of some potentially annoying logic errors. So our bids, we're going to append bids up to I, because remember I is our index keeping track of our bids, and then bids we're going to go up to I plus 1, and I'm going to tell you guys why we're doing this backwards. We just want all of that stuff, all that, give me it, and then we have bids on that specific bid price gets that size of the bids, decrement which level we're looking at, and then we're going to see the length of that. That's not what I want. If the length of that level is 0, if that is, oh my goodness, how did I get over there? Is 0, then I can delete it from our data structure. So we have bids and then bid price. Cool. then I want to break. All right, because then we're going to be moving to the next. We're going to be moving down our next. This should be a continue, should it not? Did I just stump myself? Well, it shouldn't be in this if. No, but it is. I'm not entirely certain why I had that like that. The secrets of this order book now. Because this, I'm going to test it without this break, and if it breaks, then we're going to keep on going through. However, though, we have this matches now, and this is pretty much also a debugging flag, which is nice, and I'm going to just copy and paste that line in there. So now we need a function to tell it to stop matching, and then we need an add matching, and then we can actually move on to our exchange. How are we doing on time? 26 minutes. We're going to keep on going. Okay. So now we're going to say, and just for the sake of arguments, that way this video isn't too long, we're going to look into why that break is there. Screw it. We'll do some debugging at the end of the video. Why not? Why not? This will already be like a 45-minute video. We'll push it to an hour. Why not? I keep on falling in my damn chair. Programming should, in this context, should be very enjoyable. It should be digestible. I want to make sure that we close that so that way we don't have memory all over the place. Can't talk while I'm typing, apparently. Programming this concept shouldn't be stressful. It shouldn't be like, oh my gosh, I don't understand it. I can't hit it right now. Like, I wrote this code months ago for a YouTube video, and we're pretty much just we're going through right now, and this is just supposed to be a good time. Maybe you don't understand order books at all. However, you're still going to enjoy this video and watch it because you saw TCP or something in it. And we haven't even gotten to that yet. But this is still a good little mock project. Maybe you don't understand concurrency that much. Now you get to do a now you get to have this project. Why am I saying I'm replacing it, right? Like if you guys think I'm like reallocating, I'm not modifying. That's how to say that, kind of like in vector. I'm trying to talk and do everything at the same time, and it's just not working. I feel like I'm talking all over the place. But yeah, we're going to go through and we're going to check if things are good till canceled or not. If they are good till canceled, then we can leave them in there. If not, then we have to get rid of them. If it's a good till canceled, because this is like end of the day. If you want to buy Apple stock, if it's a limit order or anything, and market closes, your order gets canceled. If you say like, hey, this is a good till cancel order, the broker will leave it. They'll leave it there for you. You just have to tell them that, and then they'll do it. But if you don't specify, like, hey, this is a good till canceled order, then they'll cancel it on you. So right now, this is simulating basically market close. So we're going to stop matching 4 p.m., stop closing, or it would change the matching engine, but wouldn't stop matching. Regardless, actually, we'll say it's 10 o'clock on the New York Stock Exchange. No matching happens then. Everything that's not a good till cancel order, you got to leave. So that is what we're doing right here. Why do I have... Why are you... Oh, perhaps defabled wrong is why I was having problems. And also now it catches this that I added on the S. Cool. I was like, I'm getting an error for the life of me. So now we're going to check and again see if we even need that level in our map. If not, have some. Now we're going to have some good practices and get rid of that. That is why we are looping with the price as well. Else, what am I doing right now? Bids, price, new bids. This feels like it should be outside of the loop. Right here, we're going to be a little lazy though. And we're going to say, actually, I'm going to leave bids right there so that way I can just do this and see where all the bids are living in my loop. Right now, it's just the exact same thing. However, for the ask side. So now do that. Yeah, we still got a lot. Huzzah. Okay, we're good. And we are good. That is this function. Dizzily done. So now we have to add our orders. Why do I have squiggles? Append with no values. Let's debug this, and then we're going to go through and do whatever. Well, also, this needs to be J, because J keeps track of our ask index, and I believe we just need a Mr. Comma. Yes. Wait, no, okay. What's my warning? Okay. You just tell me out of the goodness of your heart or something? Oh, aspetta, because now I'm really confused. Oh. I had that on a different line. That is why. I was writing this and I was like, felt off, but I just trusted myself for some reason. Okay, cool. So if we have a filler kill, and we can't fill it, we're gonna restructure that bid level without the filler kills. And then are you just something that has been used yet? Yeah. Next order ID, you will be used when we actually have to add orders. So yeah, let's come down here so that way we can hit it. So function for our needs a reference to our order book, and then add order, and then it needs an order. We're going to assume that that has already been handled for us, and we really should have an assert here, but it's kind of already there. Whatever. Something I need to do in my new programs is have a sea of asserts. I need to start having that programming practice of just sprinkling these little landmines all over my program. Jesus. I don't know why I'm just sometimes talking is hard, right? We don't need a new ticker, we just need now. Then we need to increment or that. Why are you telling me that you're going to be like that for the rest of the dang video? Okay, no, I don't know why it had that weird highlighting. That really bothered me. Maybe it's my fault for getting bothered that much by the damn highlighting. I don't know. So now we have to check what our order types are. So if we have a good till canceled, we have to set this flag set these flags on the orders. So that's all that is going on right here. If we have good till canceled, we have to do that. If we have a 4, that means that our FOK is true. And now we have to decide what are you yelling at me for? Unused right field. Well, it is used, perhaps just not in here. The ID is not used, in fact, neither is the timestamp. But I'd argue that they're there for good reason. GTC and FOK are used, right? But and in the stop as well. We're not going to let that bother us too much. These would be used more in a practical, real-world sense. But now we have to decide. Where to actually put these orders. So if we have buy orders, I wrote a little bit of Python right there. Did you guys see that? We have to set it to the correct spot. So now we have to change this level and just add the append order to it, and then we have to sort it by our timestamp. That is where the that is how the oh my goodness, I can't talk and type at the same time. I gotta get better at that. That is where the timestamp comes in. That's where the FIFO comes in. That's where the real nice insurance of FIFO comes in, and just the real coolness about it, because you're taking something that could be kind of complicated and you're just saying, hey dude, like every order is just gonna have this thing, and I'm just gonna manage it. I'm just gonna have these functions like this, and we're just gonna return correct sortings of this. This is kind of like a lambda right here, which I enjoy a lot. I was writing a super simple actor model in C++, and part of it I wrote in, I was about to say I wrote a super simple actor model in C++, and part of it I wrote in C++. No, I wrote this actor model a bit in C++, and I used lambdas in it, and one of my friends had not programmed in C++ 23 and was like, dude, what is that? I was like, what do you mean, bro, the lambda? He was like, that he was befuddled that I was using lambda functions in C++. He was like, why would you do that to yourself? I was like, they're actually, once you get past that damn bracket, once you get past the stupid bracket equal sign, once you understand how that's just like glorified scope, then they're actually not too shabby. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to check if we're selling. These are going to go to our ask. Check, make sure we got no bids in there. We are good. And so now we're going to sort this slice, whatever this is an array in our case, but this, and we're going to sort it by this function. So we have these indexes, I and j. If this timestamp is before this one, it's going to go in the front. Super simple. Now, our order book and our order are all done. There should be way more functions and way less just written code, but we ball. And comments. There should be a lot more comments. Regardless, time for us to actually make this exchange. Perhaps I should do the server first. Once more, we ball. This is not a design philosophy video. This is a, hey, let's get nuts and let's make something. Let's make something all right. I want this to be a list of bytes. So that way it just works, right? We don't want it to be like language or system specific to what that type should be. Just give me bytes. Just give me bytes. I don't care where they're coming from. I don't care what type it is. Byte's a byte, no matter how you slice it. Pun intended with slice. However, I don't know how I'm keeping this energy up, but we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna keep it going. So we have this exchange, right? How is this gonna work? We're gonna have an exchange, which is gonna have a name. We're gonna have the connected clients to it, right? Because this is gonna be TCP. So we're gonna have joins and trades and leaves, right? So now we have these clients, which is a map of connections. So we can say net.con. What are you doing there? It's a net.con, and that can be a strict. Good old strict. And then we can have broadcast, which is just a channel of our messages. And then we need a mutex. They're eternal. They are indeed eternal. So we're going to have, it's basically going to be like, hey, I want to trade the NYSE. I don't know. So it's going to say, okay, let's join the NYSE. It's going to put us there. Now we're going to get added as a net connection to our clients. That this is us. This is us. This is what we got. We're just an empty struct. Then people, including us, are going to be able to send messages to the exchange's channel. And the exchange's channel is what is going to tell the exchange how to behave. And then we need a mutex so we don't absolutely destroy everything. Got it? Let's go. So now we have this new exchange, right? Because we have to handle the scenario. I want, if you're the first person in an exchange, that you just appear in an exchange, right? I don't want it to be like, oh, that exchange doesn't exist yet. Like, nah, dude, you're just alone, and you're just here. There's no one else here, but you could do stuff if you want. I doubt anybody will play along. I want to buffer this 1024. But yeah, that's why we have to handle that. Why am I saying that like that's right now? It was just because of this. We just have to give it every exchange a name. But yeah, if nobody else is in the exchange, I don't want the scenario of like, hey, this exchange doesn't exist yet. Like you need some higher power to make you the damn exchange. I don't want that. I just want it to work because it is on. We're using my telnet, okay? Oh man. Let's check it out. What time are we at now? We're at 43. I'm cooking. I'm feeling good. I'm happy I did this. I almost didn't do this. I'm just rewriting code I already had, and we're just chatting. Having a great time. But now we're going to iterate through all of our messages, and then we're going to actually modify the state of our exchange based on the messages. And I'm going to defer unlocking the mutex's xjizzle. So for client, it's just that, yeah, we don't have this on the map. In range clients, I always say I'm going to stop doing that, and I never do. I'm a math guy, right? One of my favorite comments I ever received, not one of my favorite comment I've ever received. I'm just going to do this now so the compiler's happy, and then we'll actually handle it. I've ever received on a video was a video about option pricing, and the comment was like, you math guys sure don't know how to name variables. And he's absolutely right. Absolutely right. So we're going to get our list of bytes. We need to format some stuff. And so how are we going to format this? I just realized I just totally covered my mouth. We're just going to say %s, %s, and then new line, and then just give it who the message is from and the stringified version of our payload, because remember our payload is it's bytes. So why are you mad at me? Okay, so if we can't write to it, then we want to do, I'm just gonna print ln, but probably should like actually crash if you have this. I'm not entirely sure how I want to do it right here. It doesn't really matter. But we want to make sure that we close our client and delete it from our list of clients. So we have that client's bad, it's not writing correctly, so we want to delete it from the connected clients. Why are you mad at me? Defers in this loop. Oh, goodness gracious. It's because we're in a loop. Theoretically. I suppose this is like a micro optimization to do it like this. Not too sure though. I'd be curious about what the actual overhead is like to have this different. So now we are going to get into the join function. Oh my goodness. So connections, clients in the form of connections are going to try to join our exchange. So we gotta do some stuff so that way that can happen. And then we gotta ex.mu.unlock. Cool. Actually, I suppose, yeah, that's fine that I do it like that. It's not exactly, but who gives, right? And then client's client, and then we need to give ourselves something, so we're just a struct, right? Remember that. And then we just want to print some nice stuff. So I am just going to copy that because I didn't want to. Ooh, why am I saying clients? That is not correct. Good thing I did that actually, so that way I caught that. Yeah, and then I want a broadcast function as well. Super simple functionality, but I want it like this. I like to be super verbose with stuff like that. I want you capital B. There's a better way to do that, in fact, than because I have lowercase and capital B. It doesn't really matter, but it does more so in the sense of debugging. In my opinion, could just make it that much easier. So let's recap a little bit. We have these orders before we do our server, because this is some crappy code, but it works. It's just a little weird in any other context. So yeah, we have our order, which is just the struct that holds a lot of information, and we have this little manual enum deal going on. We have this order book, which whenever we get new orders, we sort it by time right through this little lambda looking thing, and we set every attribute of the order that we need, and we make sure that we have our next IDs and stuff like that all sorted out. We have our stop matching function, which pretty much simulates like a market close. Any order that is not good till canceled will get removed from our order book after the fact, after our close. And we have our matching function, which needs to be split up into more functions, but that's fine. We're just going to go through, make sure that there's actually things for us to match, and then loop through every single bid level, every single ask level, every single scenario at those levels, check if it is actually something that we could work with. And yeah, and then modify the state of the levels correctly. And there we go. We have our start matching. I don't have anything commented out just to make the compiler happy. Cool. So now we're actually going to make our server. So exciting. I'm going to take a sip of water too. I didn't put it in front of my, but whatever. I feel like you could have heard that hit my teeth right there. I apologize. I hate drinking when I'm recording, because I feel like you guys like see like into my skin. I feel like you guys, I don't even feel like you guys see me naked. I feel like you guys like see my soul if you were to like hear me drink. I think it's repulsive. I hate it when other people do it, so I feel bad when I do it. Regardless, though. Oh, don't do that. Let that listener. Oh, come on. Okay, we're starting to crash out of it. But we're gonna keep it on the rails. So we need to listen in our server. We need listen address. We need like where we're gonna listen to. We need a listener to actually listen on it. We need a quit channel. Might be familiar. I learned a lot of stuff from that YouTuber Anthony DM. Really smart, cool dude. I like his content. You guys should go subscribe to him, especially if you want great GoLang content. I don't know him at all. He's just cool. I don't want a capital E though, because now our server needs to keep track of every exchange. That's why it is a map of names and I have this as order books. Not sure how I feel about that. This is odd, making design philosophy choices later on. And of course, good old mutex. So, I suppose... Yeah, well, of course, yeah. Because this doesn't have any way... This has ways to manage... Yeah. This has way to manage state of the exchange itself, which kind of is nothing right now. This actually manages the state of the order book. So that's why. Go in directly to it. This is not something to manage the connections. It's something to manage the orders. All right. Whatever passed me. So we have its function of new server. We need a listen address. That's a string. We're going to return a server. Believe it or not, we're going to return a server. I am Italian. I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. We need a listen address. It's our listen address. We need a listener, which is actually we don't do that one right now. We need a quit channel. We need a quit channel, and we're gonna make a channel of structs. We need to make our clients, which is a map of connections and such. We need our exchanges, which is a map of names and order books. And voila! Now you have a server. Now you just bought your brand new lovely Mercedes. You gotta start that damn thing up. You gotta get it going. You gotta see what she's really made of. I should have said Ferrari because I just said I was Italian. But we're gonna start our server up regardless, and we're gonna turn an error. So now we're actually gonna listen on a specific with a specific kind of thing. So we're gonna say that we're actually using new. Why? Not new. TCP and the come si dice, and the listen address. Bangers, just like that. Okay, so now if error bang equals nil, then we're just going to return him. We want the person that called us to deal with it, even though it's still us. We just don't want to do it here. We're going to defer closing it. Sever. I love connecting to severs. That's good stuff. Okay, so now s.ln, and then we're actually going to change the state of that. Oh my goodness. And make sure that it actually gets updated correctly. I don't know if you guys just saw that lightning. Cool stuff. And then we want an accept loop, which we're going to code like right now. It needs to be running in the background. And then if we get through that, quit, and then return no. Coolio. So now we have to return. Well, now we have to make our accept loop. We got to handle our clients join, leave exchange, and then actual add orders. Like kind of like I thought of it like as public and private. Screw it. Let's make our accept loop now. So s server. It's not even 10 o'clock for me yet, but we've been cooking. Accept loop. Infinite for every connection or error in. Well, no, it's not for each dot accept. That's how we do that. So we're gonna accept every connection that we that people want to give us. If we can't, then I'm just going to copy and paste this because I don't know why I'm like allergic to typing fmt.println, whatever. And then going to s.handle client. And we want to give it that connection. Alrighty. Now let's actually write this. I like even writing code like this when I don't know what I'm doing yet. When like I don't know what the project is going to be yet. Like, okay, I have this accept loop and I want to do some stuff, and then once I know that this connection's good, I want to do something with this. So I'm just going to write the function, like write the function name, and I'll get to her eventually, right? Take her out to dinner. Give her a nice night. She's got a nice family. She deserves it. Handle client. I need this connection though. Con. Am I tripping? No, I'm not. Do I want to return anything? No, I'm good. Okay. So now we're going to defer closing this thing. And then, again, just because I'm allergic to it for some reason. I don't know why. It just feels like fake. I don't know. So now we actually have to read the stuff coming in from this guy. buff.io. We need a new reader for this connection. Read the stuff that it gives us. And then we need to, again, handle everything that it's doing. So we're going to get messages and potentially errors from it from reader.read string. There we go. And so now we want to be able to handle a new line character. And then a little error handling right there. I suppose we could return the error, but nope. But so yeah, we want to get that message. I want to stay inside this for loop. Why? Oh, that's why. Because the dang. Why is this all the way over there? That's what confused me. All right, we got a lot going on. What am I trying to do right now? All right, maybe an hour video won't be the move next time, but now, okay. So we read our messages, make sure that we can actually do stuff with it. If we have a message afterwards, then it'll be in our specific little weird protocol that only we know about. So we want to do a little bit of stuff to it. We want to trim it. So now, trim space, let's see what this returns. Returns a slice of a string S with all leading and trailing white space removed. Cool. So that way you guys know how I'm doing that. So now we're going to see strings that has prefix. And so now we're going to check what they're trying to do. And this is where the code gets kind of shitty. Because there's like no standardization to this. Oh, that's why. That's why it looks funky. We're just gonna hit it with that. So now everything else kind of act a little bit better too. Yeah, now that just feels better. So now they're trying to join. Where are they trying to join? Strings that trim function prefix, the default stuff is absolutely amazing. And then we can say s.join exchange, not written yet, but whatever. And we can, we can give it the exchange name and the connection. Now, get in, right? It's not bad yet, not too bad yet. We're gonna get weird. I keep on clicking enter. Else if we're trying to trade on it. Actually, no, let's do leave first. Oh my goodness. If we're trying to leave the specific exchange that we're on, maybe the one where maybe the one that we're connected to won't allow us to go 10x on forward coin. So we gotta make sure that we have a way to get the hell out of there. And then we're just gonna do the same concept, but of course it'll be leave, and this will be leave. There we go. Taking a sip of water. And we're back. Cool, so we're handling leaving, joining. Now let's handle modifying the state of our order book. Which means we gotta do some weird stuff here. Because for some, actually this is kind of minimal. It's just a lazy way to do it. It's a lazy and not robust way to do it. Because you want to split. We want to split it every 7 times at the white space. That's just, if you guys have programmed anything ever, you can probably see why that's just not the smartest thing to do. But we're going to do it just for the sake of this being simple. But don't, like you, I mean, I guess that you could always have some error handling in there, but just magic numbers suck. Magic numbers suck. It sucks when somebody has to, it sucks when somebody has to read and write your code after you. You know, it's just like, either make it really, really, really obvious, like, hey, I'm using a constant here, I'm going to rip your eyes out, you know, like it's going to suck. Or find a way to actually handle it. And these just make it really explicit. But again, we want this exchange name. And it'll actually be, because now we have this parts. So it is the, no, I don't want that, that's the second part. And then we want an order. And then again, not written yet, order from parts. This is going to turn our text and integers into an order type. Order from parts, and then give it the parts. Give it the parts. All right, and then s.trade exchange name order, and then who's doing it, and then just because now here we just have a little error handling. If we don't have any of those prefixes, then I don't know what you're trying to do. So now let's do the order from parts first. It reminds me of integration from parts. That's what I was thinking. Okay, order from parts. I need parts, which is an array of strings. I keep on doing that. And I'm going to return a reference to an order, and here we go. And so now we're going to get the side. This is also, I'm going to copy this just so that way I don't make a stupid error in how I'm typing. But so that you can see how just terrible this gets, right? And so then we're going to return a reference to our order, and then we're going to go through what we're talking about a bit more. And then order type is order type, and then price is price, and then size is size, and then ticker is ticker, and then y is order type. Upset because you're a string, and we gotta say get type. This works because it's in models as well. This works because it's in models. Cool. So now We also have to write this. We also have to have. We also have to. Goodness, we also have to write this trade function. So now let's just write join and allow people to actually join our server. So server and then join. Oh, that was my hand against my mouse pad. I have leather. All right. I don't know if you could hear that. I had to cover myself right there. So we have our exchange name, which is a string. We have our connection. Ooh, we have our connection, which is a net connection, and we're not going to return anything. We just might throw some errors, but I'm not going to tell you. We're going to lock, defer, new dot, unlock. Okay, and now if the exchange name exists, then we could just append them to it. Or we could append something to it. Aspetta. Because we got to remember what state we're managing with what. Oh my god, why con all the time? So if this thing actually exists in our exchanges, so if we actually have something there, and then we could do a little GoLang shenanigan. Bang exists. Some people say okay, whatever. It's just it looks so terrible if you don't know Go. If you do know Go, it's kind of cool, but if not, yikes. Exchanges and then our exchange name, and we're pretty much going to give it a new order book. So remember, that's the state that we're managing. And then s.clients, and then we have to add our connection to, or we have to say that our connection is to this exchange, and then we have to write some stuff to it so that we've joined the exchange. Whoops. Oh, for the love. Oh my goodness. That's what I get for copy and pasting. There we go. Because I didn't put an E at the end. That would be why. Exchange name. Never failed me, the good old exchange. Now let's handle leaving exchanges. So we need a function that needs a reference to our pointer reference. I don't know. Reference to our servers. Leave xjizzle, and then we have the exchange name that we're trying to leave, and we have to give it our connection. So our net. Oh my goodness, and the comma, and just it's all coming down. Guys, stopping the video right now. I'm kidding. Even if I blow up, I'm not going to stop it right now. I'm too committed. Programming with some thunderstorms, making some YouTube videos. I'm having a blast. So now what are we going to do when people want to leave? Good old mutexes as always, and then we need to check if we actually. We need to check if we exist and stuff like that, and then if we do, we can just say we're going to write that we left it. If not, actually, well, it'll probably just do nothing. But I'm going to have an else. I'm just going to say no exchange. Yeah, that works for me. That works for me for now. Little house of cardsy. I will admit it. But that's kind of been the theme of this server file. Okay, so now let's make our trade function. And then, oops. Now this trade function needs a few things. We need the damn exchange name and our connection. Actually, it doesn't need that much though. And then, yeah, then we literally just need one more thing. And then we just need the order. All right, and now, good old mutexes. Now we're gonna get the. Then we actually have to get the exchange and the exist name. So we're gonna say exchange, and then we're gonna do the stupid little if Exits. Exists. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry that took me so long to notice. I know I'd be pissed if I was watching this. I don't want to do it like that. I want to do that. That way it works. So if it doesn't exist, then we can just say not in exchange. If not, we can add our order, add a reference to our order, add a pointer to it, whatever it is. I saw some video like, why does Go use pointers, not references? And it's like, well, like at that point, isn't it like it's such a nuance that like if I'm not writing the language, I don't want to, like I'm talking about like literally making it, like I don't want to care. Let's go back up to how I am calling this. Why are you mad at me? Cannot use order of that up because they're backwards. Because they're backwards. There we go. Now in our main, I am going to copy and paste this entire test function in here. And then I'm going to get rid of these comments by hand, like an idiot. Keep that one. And cool. Now we can make run. Just make sure everything works, and we'll go over some stuff. That looks a little weird, but no errors, so quite happy. So test order book just makes a new order book, gives it a ticker, and then adds a bunch of different orders, right? And so here we have an order right there, and so we could see fill at this, right? And then we can see that we're empty now, and we have no matches found this iteration, but it's because these two orders are too far away. Then we're going to add more filler kills, and we have these orders in here. Why are you not getting filled? I should probably have some good output to test this against. This checks out though. Oh my gosh, I gotta zoom out a second. Just like looking at everything not on the same line is just tripping me out. Well, I suppose it's never gonna be on the same line. What the? Yeah, it's looking okay though. It's looking fine. Looking like it's behaving alright. Perhaps a little jumpy, but it is okay. Let's rerun it. Make sure that we have some consistency. Yeah, we do. Okay, now, oops. Now we're gonna do a little demonstration. All right. If I do that, oh no, don't do that. Do you guys have to like? Do you have to be here? Yeah, whatever. So now if we say telnet, and I told it to go to ports 8080, local host 8080. Now we are connection, new connection, me. And we're gonna say join. It didn't come up, but I typed in capital join NYC, and we're going to do the exact same thing here. Telnet local host 8080 join NYC. Cool. Now we have our two connections. And so now if I want to do a place of trade in here, so let's say I want to trade in the NYC, I want to buy, just market, get me in there at 420, doesn't really matter. 1,000 shares of SCE, Scoreson Enterprises. I'm just kidding. There actually is a company whose ticker is SCE. I saw it and I got pissed. But so, it says that we're not in exchange and YSE. Why is that? So now let's go hunt it down. Not in, none. Not in exchange. All right. So now we're in the trade function. All right. Okay. So if we don't actually save our exchange in there, if bang exists. Okay, so now let's go take a look in join exchange. So now clients.connection. Did I honestly just do a typo? No, I did not. Okay. You're gonna stay with me as we go through here. I'm honestly just gonna copy and paste this function in here, and then we're gonna look at it better in the editor. So now real talk, let's see if that fixed our problem. And I'm also gonna do that for trade, because you move fast and you break things. It's honestly to be expected. Okay, and then I'll just flip this damn stuff around too. Order and then con. Whenever I say con, I think about Kublai Khan, and then I think about Mortal Kombat. Okay, so we saw that weird funkiness in there. Yeah, lost connection to host. Thank you. Join this way. Trade, and then I already forgot my format. Trade NYSE. Buy market for 420. That many of score zone, not in exchange. Okay, that is no bueno. So we're still not in the exchange. So that means that our connection is not getting stored to the correct thing. So what I'm going to do, for the sake of the video, is I'm going to copy and paste my entire server function in here. And now, from the top down, we're going to go through it all again. So, because this is an hour 17 video, not throwing it away. We're in fact going to make sure that it works again as well. We might see that it behaves a bit differently when we actually do this. Okay, cool. Cool. And so now we're going to say that, join NYSE, and then trade NYSE, buy market 420, that many of NVIDIA, order at a time NYSE exchange. Okay, cool. So now we're going to go through and we're going to talk about this as well. And I'm also just going to get this back so that way I'm brighter. So we have the server structure, right? We have the address that we're listening to, the listener, when we know to stop, who is connected, the exchanges, the order books that we have, and the mutex. We have this new server that returns this working. Now when we start it, we're going to listen to whatever address over TCP. We're going to accept stuff. What is that stuff we're going to be accepting? We're going to be accepting connections, right? If we get a connection, then we can handle them. When we handle them, we're going to defer closing them. We have a new connection. We're going to read their connection. And then make sure that we just, right, that's just reading stuff. And then we're going to see what kind of commands that they have. If they join whatever, then we can actually join the exchange with them, with their exchange name and their connection. If they leave it, we'll just leave them. If they trade, we can then format their text into a proper order. So order from parts takes that text and simply puts it into a reference to an order object, right? Or order struct, not object, excuse me. Join exchange, lock our mutex, defer unlocking it. If our exchange exists, well, if it doesn't exist, then we're gonna make a new one. We're gonna make a new order book, and we're gonna add our client connection. We're gonna add that exchange name to our connection. Regardless, we're gonna do this. If it doesn't exist, then we have to make a new one. Then we're going to leave it. We're pretty much just going to say we're going to delete that client from it and write that we left it. And if we trade, make sure that we have an exchange that exists. We're going to get our exchange, make sure it exists. If it does, we're going to add our order. So let us open these things back up. CLS because I'm on Windows. I hate that. Least favorite thing in the whole entire world. Regardless though, let's make this and let's run it. We can see that we have all of our orders coming through. Trying to match stuff. Cool. We can see that we have some fills and stuff like that. Some stuff going on. Yeah, and so then if I were to open up both these things and telnet and telnet, join NYC, and then trade NYC, forget your protocol, buy market, and then I have to do like things I can remember. So 420, buy market, 420, 10, SE, me. Order added. So now I could just read it. I'm so goofy. Join NYC. Let's just say trade NYSE sell market 420 10 SC. Order added, and we're filled. Order filled. I priced this, size of that, with order that and that. So we can see it is actually working. We have 2 connections. If we would have a third, it would work for that as well. But we can see that when people leave, it gets unhappy. But yeah, that is the video. It was over an hour, filled with bugs, filled with fun chatting with you guys. If you guys did enjoy this video, I'm gonna honestly, what I'm gonna do, they don't pay me enough. They don't pay me nearly enough to lie to you guys. I'm gonna send these files through different LLMs and ask it to comment them. And then I'm gonna upload it to my GitHub. It'll be in the description of this video. You guys can go ahead and take a look-see at everything in there. If you guys did make it to the end, I'd really appreciate you guys getting me to 500 followers and checking out my collaboration with Lux Algo. Go crazy, trade some cocoa beans, trade some, what's a weird feature I have right here? You want to trade live cattle? You want to trade soybeans? Look, check this out on the 4-hour. Oh, I thought I thought the flip was better. Yeah, whatever. It happens. Our algos will never be perfect. Sometimes they can look all right. Sometimes they can make you look like a genius. I'm hoping that spy makes me look good. Yeah, sometimes they can make you look like a genius, right? But they're not perfect. Yeah, you guys all have an amazing day. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I have no idea when the consistency will be back. But yeah, I'm going to go make sure that those videos or files get commented for you guys. I'm going to put everything that you guys would need in the description, and I'm going to upload this thing. I'm going to upload that to GitHub, everything. You guys all have a great day. I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.